Hello, dear folks. Welcome to the show. Jack Chow on East West with G&E TV. Starting the new year, all right, still fresh. We're talking about the New Year resolutions. While we're picking up New Year resolutions, we see lots of things are happening that are positively to the 我从头来这段，非常棒。
不要激动，别老想到耐忍这事儿。
是哥们儿，真是不够意思。Action. Hello, dear folks. Welcome to the show. Jack Chow on East West with G&E TV. Today, the subject is about the backflow of the high-end talents to China, namely. And we'd like to take a study about it, see if it indicates anything, or it is already there a trend or is not. To get to the point, I have invited my good friend, Mr. Wei Luo, founder and CEO of California Sunshine Education Center. Once again, Mr. Luo, welcome to the show.
Always, my pleasure.
All right, good. And I haven't seen you for a year already.
For a year already, since last year.
You were here last year. Now,
That's
starting
correct.
a new year, we're talking about a 1 year difference, right?
That's
okay.
true.
So, what's your overall take about the phenomenon? Call it a trend, or is it a trend? Is it not a trend yet, or maybe just a phenomenal?
I would first of all, I would greet our dearest audience over there. Happy New Year! Since this is my first appearance,
not too late.
In your show, it's not too late.
Not too late.
Before end of January, I think it's a timing.
The year is still young. It's
still
only
young.
a few days old.
That's correct. So hope that everyone will have a
Prosperous year.
Prosperous year
okay,
of New Year. And basically, when we're talking about the backflow of the high talents of Chinese scholars and scientists overseas, I do see there's a trend starting from a phenomenon. I would say it's a man-made, it's a planned, and but there's a lot of changes, interesting changes between that. And I think that it's very, very, it's my interest and for us to discuss this today.
I see. How big is the trend? If you call it a trend, though, it's not phenomenal. How big is the trend? If you call it a trend,
and I think out of if we just take a bigger look at the picture of overseas Chinese, and the number is very small. By saying that, let's just take a look at the how many Chinese overseas at this moment, according to the National Organization of Chinese Overseas Affairs. Their statistics are showing that there are about 35 million overseas Chinese throughout living in 150 countries in the world.
Okay.
And out of those 35 million people, the calculation also says that there are about 80,000 people holding doctor and postdoctoral degrees.
Only 80,000?
80,000.
35 million?
30 out of 35 million.
The number is very small.
Very small compared, very small. However, those are considered as the best and brightest.
Okay.
Those are the talents.
So I'm not included. I know that.
You and I probably.
We're not.
I'm not. We're just holding that, and regarded, and they are regarded definitely as the best and brightest. However, there are people who are holding executive position and managerial position in the Western companies and institutions, also regarded as the best and brightest. So they are the ones that the Chinese government are focusing on luring them back. Soliciting or recruiting them back.
I see.
That's the kind of change that's happening about 20 years ago.
No, I don't get it. It's
so that's,
trend.
I mean, excuse me.
Trend we started seeing now.
Seeing now, that's originated back.
The move,
or it is rooted back 20 years ago by
the
plan.
move started
or
20 years
rooted
ago.
back
I
20
see.
years ago.
I see.
By Chinese plan.
Is there official confirmation about it, or it's just the impression?
No, there's a confirmation, there's a movement, there's schemes and plans over there specifically for attracting overseas Chinese, best and brightest scholars and scientists going back to China to work for the education and other fields.
Are they focusing to the research area academically, or they include also those senior managerial positions or guys holding managerial positions, such as at stock exchange or
finance field? Basically, the field, the talents basically covering major fields from the education, research and development, and finance, and including industry, as well as scientific research and teaching education field.
artistry, literacy.
Literacy and literacy are the things that probably was not on the focus of of this plan.
Of less importance.
Of less importance in the at least 5 years ago.
I
But
see.
it's getting more emphasized, and it's on the telescope of the plan to recruit scientists.
What does China do, or what has China done to attract them?
Basically, China has a Chinese. I would say this is a government movement initiative. It started about about late 80s and the beginning of 90s of 20th century of last century.
If you're talking about this whole thing initiated about 20 years ago,
25 years ago.
They must have started to the year of 1994
1990s,
or something.
yeah, 1990s. I would
94,
say
95.
started. Yeah, the reason behind that is just because that China basically started its opening door policy back in
We know that.
1979. Everybody knows that, and to re-juvenilize the Chinese economy, and Chinese basically, China needed a lot of. I would say talents, best and brightest.
Yeah, we need those too.
In the various, in various fields. It's very obvious. It is very common for every country in this globe who wanted to develop their economy. And basically, beginning from 1990s, a Chinese government launched a plan called 100 Scholar Plan. 100 scholar plan.
Scholar plan?
Scholar plan.
I've never heard
basically.
about it.
Yeah, it is a 100. It's launched by the Chinese Academy of Science, and it was focusing on the recruitment of high talents in research, scientific research field.
Why 100?
100 plan.
Why?
It's just called 100. The target is that they wanted to recruit 100 talents, researchers and scientific workers
To get them
every
back,
year.
Get them
To
back
get
to
them
China?
to get them back from China, from overseas, or from the areas that not known for the concentration of high location of fund and research resources back into the highly concentrated area.
In other words, the plan initiated in the early 90s.
Early
of the last
90s.
century
It's called 100 Scholar Plan.
to attract at least 100 the top talents.
Top
talents back to
from
China
both overseas
for service.
and China into the Academy of Science,
I see.
the National Academy of Science, to its and also its subsidiaries.
I see. In terms of talking about talent flow, though, we call it talent flow, there must be something benefit related. You're talking about salary, you're talking about health insurance, you're talking about retirement plans, you're talking about anything.
That's correct.
What does China do in that kind of category to get them back?
If we take a look at the 100 Scholar Plan and the plans afterwards, for example, the Youth Scientist Plan, as well as 1,000 Talents Plan launched in the 21st century, about 10 years ago, you will find there's the commonalities in the benefits or the traits so to speak.
You have an
that
example?
collect-
Any examples?
Yes,
I know examples
in the,
might have the same.
from the salaries into the benefits, including housing and health,
Okay.
as well as kids' education.
All right, okay.
And typically, it's basically there's a signing up bonus, about 1 million, equivalent
1
1 million Chinese yuan, which is equivalent to 160,000 US dollars as today's exchange rate.
As what? As salary?
It's a signing bonus.
As
It's a signing bonus.
Signing bonus. Signing bonus means that-
means one-time payment.
So in addition to the $1 million bonus, signing bonus, you're saying, what kind of salary they have? For example, a guy holds a doctorate. How much they get? As
Yeah,
a salary?
basically a guy holding a doctorate degree and also has like about 8 to 7 years in working experience in the field. Usually salary can reach as high as $80,000 a year, annual salary. In addition,
80,000 RMB or
US dollar.
US?
US dollar.
Okay.
Yeah, which is very compatible with
well, somehow, yeah,
the
somehow,
ones
yeah.
that working in this country. In addition to that, there are a lot of benefits. For example, healthcare, basically healthcare benefits. Healthcare benefits in China, basically for that level of coverage, usually it's just reimbursed basis. There's no out-of-pocket deductible, as usually we paid here in this country.
All right.
And also, of course, paid vacation, and also allowances for the housing.
I see.
If this guy doesn't buy a house in his working location, and he can get allowances to rent a house, apartment.
I see.
In the area that he or she is working.
I see.
And also, there is a school quota for the kids of those research workers. For example, in China, the premier schools and elite schools are always limited for requirement for the demand and supplier in the marketplace. That people would pay tens of thousands of dollars for their kids just going into that kind of school. You know that we have talked a lot of education resources.
All right, sure, of
and
course.
that is a quota.
Of course,
And also
yeah.
in addition to that, of course, research and development funding for labs and equipment, as well as assistance.
I see. All right. Let's take a short moment. When we come back, we probably find out where the money comes from. Stay with us. We'll be right back.